For our local business review, we've got Wendy Hendricks here who joins us every single week on the show. Hi, Wendy. Wendy's from Agency North Real Estate in Sartell. Hello.
Good morning.
And we've got Barry here from SBDC. He is the director here in Minnesota Central Region. Hello to you.
Well, good morning. How are you?
I'm very good. I'm excited because we have another Princeton Tiger here who also has worked with SBDC. And Wendy worked for them. And she worked for Jody. Jody Stays with the Pizza Barn in Princeton. Jody, welcome.
Thank you. It's a
This
Princeton.
is Princeton Tiger country here this morning.
It is. Princeton takeover.
I feel like we should be wearing orange and black today, but we don't have it on. Jody, thanks for making the trip over here today.
Of course.
I wrote a story. If you want to see it, it's at WJ1.com. Alicia interviewed you a little bit earlier before you came on the show, and we found out lots of great things. Like you've been voted one of the 5 top pizza places in Minnesota. What an honor, right?
Yes, correct.
I mean, things we've always known, Wendy, right, from being in Princeton.
Yes.
I was telling Jody off air that when I lived in Kentucky, whenever we came back, which was twice a year, we always had to go to Pizza Barn, you know, just takeout or whatever, make sure we had that for me and the kids before we went back to Kentucky. They didn't have cheese curds down there. The whole time I lived there, they didn't know what cheese curds were. I was losing my mind.
And so now luckily, Pizza Barn has a cheese curd pizza.
Yes. So, Jody, we got to hear from you here a little bit. Let's talk about everything. This is a family business. Pizza Barn's been around for 40 years?
Yep. We'll celebrate our 40th anniversary next spring.
Next spring. And it was started by your parents.
Correct.
So what was their desire in starting a pizza place?
You know, my dad was a teacher at the time in southeastern Minnesota, a little town called Spring Valley. And my mom was a waitress at a restaurant. And the owners of that restaurant wanted to move to the metro area and start a pizza place. And so my dad and mom jumped on board with them. And it started as a partnership. And in a very short time, that partnership dissolved, like that often happens.
Yeah, sure.
And they hit the road and looked around central Minnesota for a location for a pizza place, small town, to raise my brother and myself. Mm-hmm. And they stumbled across Princeton because Princeton did not have a pizza place at the time. Things have changed because Pizza Barn now has 6 pizza places, but
wow,
I'd like to call us the OG.
Right? You are the original.
The original, yes.
It is pretty fantastic. And I wrote in the article, some of my best memories are at the Pizza Barn. When I remember it, Wendy and I have a boyfriend that we both.
Oh, no, she's giving out secrets on
funny.
air.
He's a friend of ours, but I think I dated him before you did. I'm not sure. But anyway.
Oh, I need the scoop.
I would go with Joe to the Pizza Barn is where we went, and he taught me how to play Galaga. I am the world's greatest Galaga player, and I would go in the game room back there.
Arcade, yes.
Yes, in the arcade.
And me, Miss Pac-Man, because of Pizza Barn, I am a pro still to this day of Miss Pac-Man.
Oh my God, so
because I would play during my breaks.
We each have our things. Yeah, you would put pizza in your mouth, you put quarters in the machine, and you became an expert back there in the game room. I miss those days. But I have such great memories of it. It was part of everybody's family in Princeton and still is. It's really a huge part of the community. And now you're expanding even more. I know your family came up with all the recipes. Your grandpa came up with the dough recipe.
He did. He was a baker in the Navy, and he owned a bakery in southeastern Minnesota. And so he came up with our dough and some of our breads. And we still incorporate the same recipes that we started 39 years ago.
That is great.
Yeah. Our theory is if it's not broke, don't fix it. So we just kept everything the same, but except the business model. We're just moving it forward in different ways. Not brick and mortars, but food trucks being one of them, which is going very well. And Barry helped me with that, get that off the ground. Yeah.
A little bit. I have to say that Jody has a very good grasp of her business.
She must have learned a lot from her parents. You know,
yes, they did a good job. And then, the proof is Wendy said, we need to go over there and have pizza. So
the proof is in the pizza, not the pudding.
Yes, and one of our consultants, Bree Torberg at the time, we went over there and had pizza, and it's fabulous.
Oh, I know.
It's the best pizza in the whole wide world, I always say.
I just said it's a pizza heaven. I think that's what I put in my article.
Just a quick observation. I'm sitting here and I'm seeing the camaraderie and, growing up in Princeton, the stories. This is something that, in small business, we see a little bit of it. But think of the stories and how small businesses impact communities and develop relationships and wonderful memories. This is a textbook story of you're a pillar in the community with your pizza.
Yeah.
It's
Thank you.
That is
You
a
can't
true
get
statement.
this on Amazon. Can't buy this online.
Well, I want to talk about some of these specialties because you've got a goal now. I mean, you got this pizza truck is on the road. It's beautiful. Hopefully, our people here in St. Cloud and Central Minnesota, if they don't make it over to Princeton, they'll be able to find you in your food truck because it's recognizable. I think it says cow pie on the side of it.
It does, yes.
I love it.
And people can reserve the food truck for private events or business events. She's been at a few local breweries here already.
We will be on Saturday.
This
Where?
Saturday?
At Backshed. Correct.
Wow, there
Wait
you
Park.
go.
I love that. Well, you've got some specialty pizzas we got to talk about because we'd love to see you at the Minnesota State Fair. You told me you've put in
We
your
submitted
name,
our application, correct?
and it takes a while, like years to get
It's
actually.
happening.
Yes.
It will happen.
But it'll happen because we'll all make it happen. But you've been featured on Channel 5 and Channel 11 and Twin Cities Live.
Correct.
And now here on WJON, of course. But you've got pickle roll-up pizza. Talk about a Midwestern flavor. You know, cheese curd pizzas, too. Did you come up with those? Of course, those recipes weren't from way back when. Those are some new additions.
Correct. The pickle roll-up pizza is our pizza of the month for April, so we're winding that down. But every month we try to kind of go off the grid a little bit, and our theory is in our world everything is a potential pizza topping, and so the pickle roll-up pizza, Minnesota sushi, Lutheran sushi, whatever you want to call it. It's been we did it initially in 2019, and it just keeps getting requested. So we just brought it back for this month, and we're winding it down. And that's where the cheese curd pizza started as well.
Oh, is
that
it?
was in 2018. We introduced that as a pizza of the month, and it went over so well, and we had so many requests to add it to our menu just because it was so innovative. So we did.
Yeah.
And in turn, the food broker for Kaufhold's Cheese Curd Company in Ellsworth, Wisconsin got a hold of me, and he said, whatever we can do to push this pizza forward, you just let me know. He said, you want to take it on the road? You want to put it in fairs? And it was like a light bulb moment at the time that, you know, if people can't come to us in Princeton, how can we get it to them? Maybe in a food truck. Could the food truck be at a fair? Could the food truck be at a state fair? And so it just kind of evolved from that, and we pushed it forward and delayed with COVID, of course, because we were just about ready to hit the road with it, and we just didn't know without masses and groups being able to gather would a food truck be profitable. And so we just delayed it for a year, and then I brought on our food truck manager, John Schwartz, and he's done a phenomenal job just getting it out there, making bookings, and doing exactly what I wanted, and that was to expose our pizza and the cheese curd pizza and the cow pie pizza to the greater state of Minnesota, not just Princeton.
Yeah. Oh, that's so great. Now, I want to tie Barry in here, too, because the SBDC, as we've all mentioned, also had a part. You reached out to them about the food truck to make sure you were doing the right thing, making sure you're staying on the right avenue, or what was that relationship about?
That was mostly to help with the business plan.
Okay.
I referred her to Barry initially, and
Okay.
and also a few local businesses here in town helped her as well. Gaslight Creative and Data Marketing.
Wow, nice. It's nice to have friends in town, huh?
Well, it was easy because we get people in that want to start food trucks, and they've never. I've cooked in a restaurant, but they didn't have the depth of experience that Jody did. I think a lot of things we talked about was finding the truck, things to look for, the design, and some things that maybe you weren't quite as familiar with.
So you said more kind of the business plan aspect of it.
Right, the financial aspect of it, and, you know, believing and really knowing that we had a great product. We wouldn't have been around as many years as we have been if we didn't.
Yeah.
And how to transfer that over into a different way of presenting it to the state, the world, you know, whatever. So
Yeah, and you know, Pizza Barn, you think about it, you've been around long enough where you were here before the internet. You were here before cell phones, and you've had to manage and realize that you would need to stay connected with all of those different platforms, and you've been able to do it. What is it like trying to run a restaurant and a food truck? How many employees do you have working for you now?
in the Pizza Barn itself, we have around 40 employees, 5 full-time, and then the rest are part-time. In the food truck, when we had it out for the first season last summer, it was primarily John and I, John Schwartz, and I pulled myself away from the Pizza Barn Now I've put myself back into the Pizza Barn, and we have another food truck manager. His name is Parker. And so John and Parker will be out, and we'll have support staff for that. We're working on the staffing for that now. And July 1st is our goal date for food truck number 2.
Is it? I was just going to ask.
Yes.
You know, if it's successful, how many food trucks do you invest in? And what is the cost of a food truck? Those things have to be expensive, right? I never even thought about that.
And the licensing.
You have to have a refrigerator, you have to have heat, you have to have everything, and everything has to run nice. You can't just go pick up a food truck down, at the local auction. You got to find a really good truck that's going to last.
Mm-hmm. Well, you're right. There's a lot more that goes into it than people realize. John has got a grip on that with floor plans and the equipment, and that all has to be submitted to the state. They have to approve it. Then the state health department has to come in and look at it. There has to be an electrical inspection. Yeah, it's quite an investment, and we learned that real quick through Barry, laying it all out financially, like what's everything going to cost, mechanical issues, fuel. Yeah. How is everything going to run?
Sure.
It's a business in itself.
And just trying to figure out, okay, let's say you do land a spot at the state fair. When you land your spot at the state fair, to figure out how many thousands, millions of pieces of pizza you're going to be serving, and how to rotate the staff in and out of the food truck, right?
I've already offered to help. So
have you?
I'll volunteer, yeah.
I want to be there too.
And we were just talking about the food truck. So Gaslight Creative, actually locally here, they designed that. And Jody, what were you saying? You've gotten a lot of comments on that.
Oh yes, we get lots of compliments on our graphics. It's black and red and white, and it's very striking.
Yeah.
And they use our logo, and they did a phenomenal job.
Yeah, it looks great.
In fact, one of the gals that works for the Minnesota Food Truck Association, when we first joined the Food Truck Association, she said, I don't think I've seen a truck, and I never say this, she said, I don't think I've seen a truck as striking as yours before.
Woohoo, Gaslight. Right here in St. Cloud.
Yes.
But if you're going to go to the state fair, you have to have the marketing and design to back it up too.
Yeah.
You can have, but also that's why I brought Barry to the Pizza Barn to try the pizza, because you have to have the product, which is fabulous.
It is fabulous.
My go-to is the barn pizza. What's yours?
I don't know. I say I like my own. I like pineapple and sausage and extra cheese and onions. And I know
that
weirdo,
is interesting.
but you can make it the Kelly Cords WJON pizza.
Yeah,
if you like.
the WJON pizza.
Deal.
All these guys are going, no, we wanted something
I think
else.
you had the
newsroom's
buffet the
going,
day
no.
we were there.
If you were there during lunch, yes, we probably did.
We
have
had the buffet, and
you
I
get to try
have
a bunch
to
of
tell
different
you,
kinds.
So is the buffet all different kinds of pizza?
Usually we run it just during lunchtime, Monday through Friday, and we put a variety of pizzas out there. And you can come and you can try just a single topping plain pizza, or we put some specialty pizzas out there that you can try. So.
Yeah.
had way too much pizza, but it was a lot of fun.
I
Really
can never
good.
decide. My sons all love cheese pizza, so that's super easy. But I love the weird combination of salty and sweet. And I'm like, then I get a pizza all to myself, because a lot of people hate pineapple in their pizza. And I used to work at a pizza place in college in Bemidji called It's a Pizza. And I managed this little pizza place, and I loved it. I absolutely loved it. And somebody there had me try pineapple, and I was like, no, I loved it. I still love it. I can't stop getting enough.
And I think your article addresses this too, but the larger story here that we were talking about before going on air is the family business, the legacy of the family business. Mm-hmm. And Jody I'm so proud of Jody where she's taken the Pizza Barn. I mean, and this was my first job in high school. So I started at the Pizza Barn. My sister worked there, and they quickly became family to me. And Noel was like a second father to me, Jody's dad. And
how did you get the job, Wendy?
He would be so proud.
How did you get the
where
job?
You're taking it? Well, my sister was hired there, and then I don't know if I can say this on air.
Oh, it was a long time ago. You might as well fess up.
Do you know the story?
I know the story, yes.
I wasn't really 16 yet. But I wanted to work there so bad.
So bad.
And I'm going to take a photo, but I was going through my house, and I have my jacket from the Pizza Barn with my name on it I wore. And I used to wear it so proudly.
Yeah.
And my name is on it. But it's so important to the community.
Yeah.
And what you do for the community, it matters so much.
And that's what we try to focus here is local business, local community, especially when you take a family business and put so much care into it. I hope that other people that are, their business may be something like, wow, I didn't know that I was going to grow up to be a plumber because my dad was, but they take over that business. And I hope they take as much care and pride in it as you did with your family and your family's creations and just what you've done with it, continuing it on. I'm so glad because we just all love it so much.
Yeah, what would Princeton be without the pizza barn?
I can't imagine. I think they'd take Princeton off the map if we didn't. No, there would be no sign for Princeton if we didn't have the Pizza Barn. Okay, we only got a couple minutes. If people want to visit the Pizza Barn online, it's pizzabarnprinceton.com. Correct. Mm-hmm. And your food truck is going to be where on Saturday?
It's at Backshed Brewery on Saturday in Wade Park. Friday night, it's at Thunder Brothers Brewery in Isanti. Mm-hmm. On Sunday, it's at a church in Princeton. It's winding down the church season, right. Sunday school season. So we're there for the kids. Sure. And you can check out our food truck schedule online at our website.
Okay. So a lot of people here will probably head on over to Wade Park to try it out.
Yes, let's go.
What Sip and Shop, it's called.
What time are you
It's
there?
what?
Sip and Shop.
Sip and Shop.
Yep, we'll be there at 11 a.m. and we'll be there until people want us.
I love it.
Or they run out.
Yes, exactly.
Anything else you want to tell us before you go today, Jody?
We do private events as well. That's been really our wheelhouse. John and I were really surprised how many private events we get with grad parties and weddings. We did a wedding at Gathered Oaks in Alexandria this past weekend.
Really?
Didn't have the food truck open, but we use it as a mobile kitchen to cater the wedding.
I see.
So we've been really creative with a lot of different events and venues. We're at local parades and little town festivals, arts and craft shows.
And that's what you got to be for a local, when you're talking local business, you got to be creative and make ways to survive and thrive.
Right. All over the state.
All over the
Well,
state.
go Princeton.
Yeah. Going out for business.
Yeah.
Prevents going out of business.
Oh, good one. That's a tattoo,
Wow.
Wendy. You got to tattoo that somewhere. Wendy, Barry, Jody, thank you all for being here today.